Jeepers, why would anyone move to Sandpoint? It's too cold, you have to drive long distances, the schools, they're not rated that high, and have you seen the prices of homes? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you why you shouldn't move to Sandpoint unless you can handle these 7 facts. Let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to jump right into it, and I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I'm going to talk about politics. Idaho, it's a red state, and we've seen a huge wave of people moving into the state over the past 6 to 8 years, and mainly from blue states such as California, Washington, and Oregon. However, no matter where you look or how deep you dive, Idaho is still a strong red state. Now let's focus on North Idaho and the 3 northern counties, which is Kootenai County, which is going to be mainly Coeur d'Alene, Barnard County, which is mainly Sandpoint, and Boundary County, which is mostly Bonners Ferry. People who live here and want to live here are holding on to some common beliefs and values. They're supporters of the Second Amendment and guns, freedom of speech, hunting, less government control, and involvement. If that's something that you're not really looking for, or you're not tolerant of conservatives, then North Idaho might not be the best fit for you. Now that's not to say that everyone that lives up here is conservative and that there's 0 liberals and they're not welcome, because that's not true. I think North Idaho is welcoming of those people of different political preferences. They just don't want to see all those policies and way of life and red tape be brought here and mess up our way of life for the reasons they are leaving the state they're fleeing from. Let's talk about schools. This seems to be a big reason why people are flocking to North Idaho. Is Idaho or even Sandpoint ranked as the best place for education in the United States? Well, the short answer is no. But overall, the schools in Sandpoint, they're pretty amazing. I personally have 3 kids in the public school system, and I used to hound my kids every single day when I picked them up from school because I wanted to know, what is being taught? What are you learning? And honestly, I haven't done that in a really long time. I don't really do that anymore because all that nonsense that's being shoved down kids' throats in the big cities, it's just not being introduced into our schools. It's not a concern of mine as a parent up here at all. Now, if you're looking to homeschool your kids, this is a great state to do so. There are multiple co-ops where your kids of the same grade and age, they can join the same co-op, they get to interact and do some stuff with one another. And in middle school and high school, kids can attend after-school programs, which includes sports, which is super cool. One huge blessing about Sandpoint and the school district that it's in when COVID was around, when all the other schools across the country were shutting down or going online and mandating masks to attend school. Well, Sandpoint and the school district, they were mandating masks as well, but that only lasted for a short period of time, and the schools never shut down and they did not go online. That certainly played a huge role of why people and families were moving here, because they knew that we were more open-minded, we were welcoming, we weren't going to be shutting you down or making you feel like you were getting isolated from like the places that you were used to. And that certainly played a big role on why people and families were moving here, knowing that we were more open and welcoming and not making you feel shut down and isolated, unlike where they were moving from. My name is Ben Geanetta. I'm a real estate professional right here in North Idaho. And if you're considering making a move to North Idaho and you want to learn everything that there is about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good, the bad of Sandpoint, then make sure that you subscribe down below and you smash that bell icon. You can also find a calendar link in the description below, and you can schedule a one-on-one meeting with me to discuss this video or anything else related to North Idaho. Now let's go ahead and find out what's next on our list. Weather in Sandpoint, it is a true 4-season town. And if you thought you were looking for a nice, steady, and comfortable temperature year-round, you're not going to get that here in Sandpoint. It's not San Diego, it's not Hawaii. My favorite season is the fall. I'm just a sucker for good weather and the changing of the leaves. I only wish the season lasted a bit longer because it seems to get here pretty quick. It seems as it arrives, it's over pretty quickly. Now, winters up here, they're fantastic and they offer a wide variety of outdoor activities. And it gets cold in the winter. In fact, January of 2024, it got down to negative 20 degrees for a week straight. And one night at our farm, it actually got down to negative 40 with the wind chill. The snow, it typically starts as early as October and it stops in April. But typically we're gonna see snow start in November, and the new snow, the new storms, they stop in March. Spring is typically short as well, and it starts out a little rough. I actually call it mud season. And you never know what's gonna happen because it's gonna be freezing at night only to thaw during the day, just to freeze again. And then it's gonna rain, but then it's gonna start sleeting. Weather in the springtime up here, it's a little bipolar. Then you have summer, which is the best. Normally we're sitting right around 80 degrees during the day, and at night we cool off down to the high 50s. And there's endless swimming opportunities with Lake Pend Oreille, the Pend Oreille River, the Pack River, then there's hiking and riding trails, and there's just way too many activities to mention that you can do during the summer. Now, if you love giving your money to the government, then you should think twice before moving to Idaho. So let's talk about property taxes, and I want to show you this graphic right here. It shows the age range of people who have been moving to Idaho. And notice ages 50 and up is overwhelming the majority, 78,054, or about 65% of the people moving here are 50 and up. And property taxes is a large reason why that is. Here's another graphic showing Idaho again ranked as the third best state for property taxes. And that has been unchanged for the past 3 years. There are great programs offered to help lower your property taxes as well. If Idaho is going to be your primary home, your primary residence, meaning you live here 183 days out of the year, you can claim a homestead exemption, which takes off $125,000 off your assessed home value. There's also a forestry exemption, circuit breaker exemption, and that's based on age and income. There's an ag exemption and a few others that we could discuss as well. Transportation. If you don't like driving, then you really need to rethink North Idaho. For one, we really don't have public transportation. And in fact, if I start talking about the couple of services that we do have, you're likely just going to laugh at me and leave me mean comments. Even though I can handle that, it's really not worth talking about our public transportation. What you will notice, especially in the Sandpoint area, and if you live in Bonners Ferry, you're going to have to drive further for shopping, entertainment, and kids' sporting events. Now, what's a little crazy to think about is the commute time will actually be about the same, seeing as traffic isn't nearly as bad or congested as the larger cities. Me personally, I'd rather drive more miles and actually be moving than just sitting in an endless gridlock on the highway. Too expensive. And here's what I mean. For the longest time, home prices in Sandpoint were very, very reasonable, especially considered to the 2024 standards of ORC prices. Home prices have drastically changed in the past 4 years, and they just keep going up and up. That's in part of COVID and thousands of people looking for a different lifestyle, but also because Sandpoint finally got discovered on the map. More investors started to move in and do the whole fix and flip thing, and the popularity of Schweitzer Mountain Resort really boomed and put the spotlight on Sandpoint. So when you're looking to relocate here, kind of across the board as far as, let's say, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath bedroom and something in town, the state of that home can come in many, many different conditions. From a partially remodeled home, something that's been added on 10 to 15 times, maybe one that's been remodeled, completely remodeled, turnkey, ready to go, or maybe something that's as original as possibly could be, and everything is so old that you have to change it out. So what are you really buying? What is too expensive? Well, before this price hike of 2020, you could buy that house in town that's fair to good condition, probably more original than updated, and it'd probably be around the mid 200s. But that's not the case anymore. That house is now selling twice as much, and I get it, that is going to turn some people off from this area. Now, that being said, you can still come across some amazing deals and great homes. I can't predict the future, but if I was a betting man, prices are only going to go up So if you're gonna buy a home here, you're only going to win. The prices are just gonna continue to go up because this is a destination people wanna be here. We're not a 24/7 town. If you're looking for restaurants and shops, nightlife to be open every day and to 2, 3 o'clock at night, that just isn't Sandpoint. In fact, many establishments, they're gonna be closed on the weekends. And during the week, they close their doors early. That way they can get home to their families. Is this an inconvenience? Sure, but I know that you can make that adjustment. You're going to learn the local businesses' hours and funky days that they're closed. It's a small lifestyle adjustment, but I know that you can do it. I would love to hear from you. Make sure you leave me a comment below. Any of these things that are different about Sandpoint, is that going to affect you moving here? And make sure that you watch my video on Sandpoint versus Coeur d'Alene, where to live.